2025 Aston Martin DB12 for a channel called Automotor. This version avoids direct mention of visuals or a host but is structured as a spoken narrative review, ideal for voiceover format. Start our script. Welcome back to Automotor, your home for the latest in high-performance engineering, automotive art, and unapologetic speed. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most refined machines to roll out of Gaydon, the 2025 Aston Martin DB12. Yes, you heard that right. It's not the DB11. It's the DB12, a new era, a bold leap, and an unmistakable statement from Aston Martin that it's ready to challenge the best in the grand touring world. So what makes the DB12 so significant? It's not just a facelift. It's not a mid-cycle refresh. The DB12 is what Aston Martin calls the world's first super tourer. And after spending serious time with this machine, we understand exactly what they mean. Let's start with the heart of the beast, the engine. Aston Martin has kept the power in-house by continuing with the 4.0 Yojak Chinheliter twin-turbo V8. Yes, it's still based on AMG architecture, but it's been so heavily revised by Aston's engineers that it feels like a completely different animal. We're talking forged internals, larger turbos, and an entirely new cooling system. The result: a stunning 671 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. That's a 34% increase over the outgoing DB11 V8. And it shows. The DB12 surges from 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds. Top speed: 202 mil prati ghanta. And let's be honest, if you're in a DB12, you're not just concerned about numbers. You're here for the experience. That experience starts the moment you fire it up. The V8 snarls to life with a sharp bark before settling into a refined growl. It's confident but never overdone. Loud when it needs to be, quiet when it matters. Dual character is the name of the game here. On the move, the DB12 feels alive. The 8-speed automatic gearbox has been recalibrated for sharper shifts, especially in Sport Joe mode, which transforms the DB12 into a legitimate back-road missile. And yet, in GT mode, it's as comfortable as a luxury cruiser. You can waft along highways with a single finger on the wheel and feel utterly serene. One of the biggest changes for 2025 is the chassis. Aston Martin has made this platform stiffer, 7% stiffer in fact, with improvements across the suspension mounts and underbody bracing. Combined with adaptive dampers and a new electronic rear differential, the first time Aston's used one, the DB12 handles like no GT car should. It corners flat, digs into apexes, and powers out with rear-biased confidence. The steering is hydraulic, yes, hydraulic, and it offers glorious feedback. Every twitch of the wheel translates into movement. It's precise, predictable, and playful when you want it to be. You forget the car weighs over 4,000 pounds. Brakes. Carbon ceramics are optional, but even the standard steel setup is more than enough for spirited driving. Pedal feel is linear, and stopping power is immense. Let's talk design. Because the DB12 is, simply put, gorgeous. Aston hasn't thrown away the DB11 silhouette, and that's a good thing. Instead, they've refined and sharpened it. The front grille is now larger, more aggressive. Flanked by new matrix LED headlights, it gives the car a purposeful stance. The fenders are wider. The track is 6 mm wider at the front and 22 mm at the rear, giving it a muscular presence. The wheels, 21 inches standard, fill the arches beautifully. And the profile: sleek, timeless, unmistakably Aston. Out back, you'll find a new bumper, a subtle lip spoiler, and redesigned taillights that echo the shape of the headlights. Everything about the DB12 is cohesive, like it was carved from a single piece of marble. Now, the DB11 biggest criticism wasn't its engine or looks. It was the interior tech. And Aston listened. The DB12 gets an all-new infotainment system finally, a fully bespoke unit developed in-house. It's a 10.25-inch touchscreen with razor-sharp graphics, fast response, and clean UI. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Wireless, of course. And it's paired with a beautiful digital gauge cluster. But here's the kicker: Aston Martin didn't go full touchscreen. You still get physical buttons for climate control, volume, drive modes, and gear selection. It's the perfect blend of old-school luxury and modern convenience. Materials: top tier. Leather is stitched with obsessive attention to detail. You'll find Alcantara, real metal, and carbon fiber throughout. No plastic nonsense here. Everything you touch feels expensive because it is. The seats are heavily bolstered but long distance comfortable. You can drive for hours without fatigue. And if you're planning a weekend getaway, the DB12 trunk is surprisingly usable for a GT car. Golf bags, carry-ons, even a week's worth of luggage all fit with room to spare. Sound system. Standard is a 390-watt setup, but you want the optional Bose or Wilkins 15-speaker 1170-watt system. It's been specifically tuned for the DB12 cabin and it sounds phenomenal. Safety tech is finally here too. You get adaptive cruise, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, and even a 3D surround camera system. These features were long overdue for Aston, and now they're implemented seamlessly. So how does it all come together? Well, the 2025 DB12 isn't trying to be a pure sports car like a 911 Turbo. And it's not trying to out-luxury a Bentley Continental GT. What it is a masterclass in balance. Speed, comfort, tech, and emotion all blended into one jaw-dropping package. It's a GT that makes you feel special every time you get in. One that doesn't punish you for taking the long way home. One that dares you to explore new roads, just to hear that V8 echo of the canyon walls a little longer. And let's not forget, this is a car made almost entirely by hand. There's still that artisanal British charm in every stitch, every panel gap, every click of a button. The DB12 feels bespoke in a world where that word has almost lost its meaning. Now, pricing. The base price starts at around $245,000. But with options, and there will be many, expect most DB12 to roll out closer to $280,000 or more. That's big money, no doubt. But compared to the ultra-luxury rivals, the DB12 actually feels worth it. You are not just buying a car, you are investing in an experience. Fuel economy. It's a 671 horsepower twin-turbo V8. Don't expect Prius numbers. But thanks to cylinder deactivation and smart gearing, you can actually average mid-20 on the highway if you're gentle. Around town, more like 1.4 mpg. But let's be honest, no one's buying this car for efficiency. It's about emotion, about elegance, about theater, and in that department, the DB12 absolutely delivers. So, who is the DB12 for? It's for the driver who wants supercar performance without the boy racer image. For the enthusiast who values craftsmanship over touchscreen overload. For the individual who sees their car not as a status symbol but as a personal statement. The 2025 Aston Martin DB12 isn't perfect. No car is. But it's one of the most complete grand tourers we've ever driven. It's fast, luxurious, connected, and deeply engaging. It honors Aston Martin's past while looking boldly into the future. It doesn't scream. It whispers with confidence. And that, perhaps, is the most Aston Martin thing of all. Thanks for riding with us on this deep dive into the DB12. We'll be back soon with more reviews, breakdowns, and first drives. If you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. This is Auto Motor, where passion meets performance. See you in the next one.